Welcome into Dickinson Hall for a matchup today between the UND Greyhounds and the UMSL Tritons. My name is Jace Hodge. Alongside me is Landon Coons. And Landon, so UND, their offense, how can they break down UMSL's defense today? Because UMSL is one of the best teams on defense in the GLVC.
Well, like last time out we saw against Missouri S&T game, we saw Liv Becker go inside the paint a lot here recently, and that was kind of this pattern that really worked out for her last time. I think for UND, I think they need to try to keep attacking inside that painted area. If they can do that and maybe try to lean away from the three-pointers here, I think that may be a key for UND to break down this UMSL defense.
And looking over at UMSL, they are a fairly inexperienced team, 3 freshman starters on their team. What can they do to kind of counter the experience of the Greyhounds?
I think for UMSL, I truly think it's going to be a big learning experience for this team because, like you said, 3 freshmen versus on this team who don't barely start any freshmen there. Yes, UND has freshman players, but no starters. So I think for UMSL, I think they're just going to have to learn, improvise, adapt, overcome, that kind of thing. Try to study what they have here, and then maybe if they can kind of pick off and see what they can learn about it, maybe they can try to use that against UND.
Thank you, Landon. Now we'll go ahead and step aside here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network. And welcome back into Nickerson Hall for our matchup today. Looking at the starters for the UMSL Tritons, they have number 1, Shay Delavue, number 4, Delissa Stokes, number 12, Amaya Blake, number 21, Morgan Ramthan, and number 24, Kira Stewart. Now looking at the Greyhounds, they have number 30, Elise Ortiz, number 24, Jada Patton, number 23, Jody Mullins, number 12, Maya Scheidt, and the newcomer today, number 4, Patricia Chikamba.
You know, I think Chikamba is going to be an interesting thing here tonight. You know, like I've kind of joked and mentioned before, that Mitchell has not had the same lineup twice. And, you know, she got added onto the roster late around New Year's Eve. We got to see her play a couple minutes at Drury, and we got to see her play a couple nights ago against Missouri S&T. So I think Mitchell could be doing this just to kind of get her to start off here, just to get her some starting experience here. But then again, if he doesn't like what he sees from the starters, he pulls them, and he'll bring out big hitters like Sadie Hill and Alana Wells. So this could be, and very well could be, a strategy game for Mitchell.
Yeah, and speaking of Sadie Hill started almost every game this year except for her injury. She is not starting tonight. Right here is the tip. You got Jada Patton and Kiara Stewart, and it is controlled by the Greyhounds and the newcomer, Chikamba. Scheidt now is going to bring the ball over the timeline. Stokes to guard. She's now setting up the play, looking to get the ball inside here. Chikamba now with the ball. Gets it over to Mullins in the corner. Mullins gets it inside to Ortiz. She pulls it for a little jumper and nails it.
It's a good jumper. She didn't really have anybody else around her, so she had wide open space there to go start off things high here for the Greyhounds.
And Ortiz, she started a few games earlier this year, but she hasn't really started recently, but she's getting that starting nod once again from head coach Mark Mitchell. Ramthan now with the ball, working on Patton, looking to get in on 2 defenders, passes it over there to Stewart, and Stewart misses a shot, controlled now by Chikamba. Good defensive rebound there for Chikamba here. Already showing off here that she can rebound the ball here very well. Patton now to pull up from 3, off the back iron, no good, controlled by Kira Stewart. Stokes takes the ball over the timeline, I should say. Blake now with the ball, gets the screen. Pulls up a little mid-range jumper there, and she nails her jumper as well.
It's a very good jumper there. Already getting some early points here for UMSL, so good start for them as well.
Scheidt now controls the ball, looking to get the play set up for him. Gets it over to Ortiz, 2 defenders on her, gets it into Mullins in the corner. Mullins with a little crossover turnaround there. And Scheidt looks to pass, but nobody was there.
I wonder if she was looking at the ref, because he's got the gray spot on his jersey. Maybe she thought it could have been a UND player there. So
very well could have been, because there wasn't really anybody near, you know.
Minor miscommunication there.
Now controlled by Ramthan as she passes it over to Stewart. Stewart miscontrols a little bit, but regains that control. And then she passes it into Delavue, who had 2 defenders right up on her, and she got fouled.
Yeah, she had Patton and Chikamba there all up in her face. So I think it's very crucial here that UND already seeing what they can do on offense here and trying to figure out kind of UMSL's rhythm so far for this team.
Delavu now with the first shot is up and no good, and she is only a 30% shooter from the free throw stripe this season so far.
Yeah, she's already off to a tall task here. So she only averages nearly 4.5 points a game here, and she misses both of them.
But then controlled by the 2021-22 unanimous All-GLVC first-team selection, Kiara Stewart. Looking to get the ball into her now, but they cannot. It is now with Stokes at the top of the key. She gets it into Stewart there. Stewart now 2 defenders on her, and she traveled with Maya Scheidt grabbing a hold of that ball.
That she did, and what you're saying here too is like with the defense as well. UIndy's defense has really showed up here early today, so I think that's really neat to see the defense here quicken things up here. And even we mentioned it too, UMSL's kind of known for their defense, but UIndy's kind of giving them a run for their money.
Yeah, they sure are. Now Chikamba with the ball, left side corner. She drives it in on Stokes there. Looked to be fouled as she's going up for the layup.
I wonder if we saw Chikamba, Stokes try to block it as she shot it up, or just a miscommunication pass there from Chikamba.
Chikamba, the freshman guard, now looking for her first points of her UIndy career. And the first shot for her is up and good. That is her first points of her career.
Welcome to UIndy, Patricia Chikamba.
And like you mentioned earlier, she was a late addition. Came into the team around New Year's Eve as a surprise addition. Really wasn't expecting it.
No, because Jason, you and I both know that we traveled up to Ferris State covering radio for that game, and we saw that she was a late addition. It kind of both caught us off by surprise, but she was able to travel down with the team. She didn't get to play that game, but she was down there. So we're all asking, how well is she? How good is this going to be? And right now it looks like it's already a great addition for this Greyhounds team.
She nailed that second free throw as well. Now a little bit of pressure from the Greyhounds, and Scheidt steals. She's going to take it up in there. Misses the layup, and it will now be controlled by Amaya Blake.
Good for Maya getting her elbows out there.
Stokes now with a little pull-up jumper, and she nails it right over Jada Patton. Right now tied up at 4. UIndy quickly getting the ball down the court, now slowing it down, get the play set up. Scheidt now with the ball at top of the key. Chikamba looking to get the ball inside, gets it over in the corner to Mullins. Patton now has the ball back at top of the key, looking to get the ball back inside still, but they still can't find any openings.
That was the defense living up to its name.
She had to pull up a quick shot there with the shot clock running down, and she was unable to hit. So that will be UMSL ball, and they have a substitution coming in.
Yeah, that UMSL defense is truly living up to the hype here. There was really nothing that anybody could do. They just could not get a shot or an attack off anything.
Yeah, and UMSL opponents only average 64 points a game. UMSL is in a lot of defensive battles, so this is a game they're accustomed to. Stokes now pulling up a 3. No good. Scheidt with the rebound. She's going to take the ball on the court as she has the whole game. Kind of the point guard here, getting the play set up. Chikamba looking at the ball there, was knocked out of bounds by Stokes. And there is Sadie Hill for the Greyhounds, entering the game for the first time tonight. Their leading scorer on the year, 15 points a game.
And not just her, we're also seeing Caroline Jakaitis coming in exchange for Jada Patton and Idalise Ortiz. So I think this is going to be interesting here, that you got your bread and butter here like Sadie Hill. See what she can do here.
They're trying to get the ball to Sadie immediately. They do there. Kicks it back out to Jakaitis now. Scheidt with a little move, get past the defender, now back out to Jakaitis. She pulls up for her 3, no good. It'll be controlled by UMSL. That is Amaya Blake. Alex Wolf also in the game for the UMSL Tritons. And there'll be a foul on the floor against the Greyhounds. Called on number 4, Patricia Chikamba. And right here you can see that steal by Maya Scheidt. She did miss the layup in the end, but still a very good play by her.
Still, we also noticed she got to get her shoulders out for that, because we saw UMSL's defense here is truly kicking in here. And I've noticed something else from UMSL too, is that two-man coverage for them is deadly.
It sure is. And UMSL there turning the ball over, so it will now be UIndy ball. Alana Wells now into the game for the Greyhounds, her 3rd game back from injury. She had a very good game at Drury in that loss last weekend.
23 points on the day for Alana Wells.
And there's her first 2 tonight. See if she can't have another big night for the Greyhounds. And here's this full court pressure that we so often see from the Greyhounds, causes a lot of problems for opponents. And then there'll be a travel called there on UMSL, number 22, Shania Lubbard. So UND will now have possession.
So yeah, Alana Wells came back in for Patricia combo, but just what a start for the young freshman here. Getting some points out there, getting some early experience out here. Maybe, like I said, this could very well be a good strategy call here for the Greyhounds.
Jakitis now with the ball looking to get into Sadie Hill, and it was stolen away there by Shania Lubbard. Now controlled by Stokes, and she passes it over there back to Lubbard. And an out-of-bounds step there by Amaya Blake will give the ball back to the Greyhounds. Another turnover on the UMSL Tritons.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers here kind of early on here. So far for UMSL, they already have 5 rather.
And they average around 16 turnovers a game, so they're already on pace to beat that mark tonight. That's all credit to UND's defense tonight, putting on a lot of pressure. Scheit now looking to drive in there. Passes out to Wells. Wells with the open three. It is off the mark, but UND will control the ball once again. And that rebounding, that game has been a problem for the Greyhounds. Rebounding. We've heard Mitchell say it over and over again.
Yeah, the rebounding just hasn't been there for a lot of times for them this year. But I know that's something that Mitchell harps on, like you said. And I think that too. I think another thing too is the threes early on. They just haven't seemed to be connecting at the moment. Right now, I believe they're 0 for 5 so far to start off with 3-pointers here. So I think they're kind of early unnecessary risks to take here at the moment. So I think they need to slow it down here just a tad bit.
Alex Wolf now with the ball. 2 defenders right on her. She ends up kicking it out, but there will be another foul, another turnover for the UMSL Tritons. And that will take us to our under 5 media timeout here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network. Welcome back into Nickerson Hall. We're off to a bit of a slow start, a bit of a defensive start here at UIndy. 6-4, UIndy currently holds the advantage.
Yeah, like we were kind of talking over break here, this is a defense-heavy team. I know it's not everyone's kind of choice for basketball here, but if you are into defense-heavy games, then this is the place that you want to be at.
Yeah, because UMSL, almost all their games have been fairly defensive battles, so like I said earlier, they are accustomed to this. And they are 5-8 on the year, so they don't often pull them out, but we'll see what they can do tonight. Looking to get the ball into Sadie Hill. They still cannot, so they get the ball over to Caitlin Krebs, who cannot control it, so it is turned over by the Greyhounds. Head coach Katie Vaughn calling out the play for the Tritons now. Stokes looking to drive in on 2 defenders. Ends up putting up a little left-handed hook shot and nails it.
It's a great shot there. Already now tied with that shot, it gives us a tie game now.
Yeah, 6-6, 3:30 left to go in the first quarter. Krebs now with the ball, pulls up immediately right after that and nails it. Great shot there by Krebs.
You know, it's another thing with Krebs too. We haven't seen her with a lot of gameplay here as of recently. So with that 3-pointer here, that just tells her that just shows I haven't gone away yet.
And now another quick 3 by UMSL. That was Olivia Mason, missed that, but controlled again by the Tritons. And then Rampton looked to get the ball up there, but was fouled by Krebs. So 2 shots coming up for Morgan Rampton.
Another thing, too, that was amazing about that that Krebs three-pointer. She was wide open, not a soul around her until right as she got it off her fingertips. But great start here for Kason Krebs.
And she caught it and immediately pulled it up. You know, she had that thought in her head, I want to pull the shot up right when I get the ball. And the first free throw for Ramsden was good. She is an 86% shooter on the year, one of the better shooters on this Triton team. Second shot up and no good. Looked to be a lane violation, however, so she will get another try at that. You don't see a lane violation too often there.
It's very rare, especially here in the GLVC.
But there was a lane violation, and that cost a point for UIndy, so now 9-8 UIndy advantage. Elise Ortiz checks back in for the Greyhounds, taking out Caroline Jakaitis. And Hill inbounds here to Wells. See if the Greyhounds can get a good play set up here. Get some quick, easy points, you know, get this advance back up to double digit, to a 2 or 3 point lead again, but they cannot as they turn the ball over once again. And that is their 4th turnover on the day. Ramtha now with the ball on the far side, 3-point arc. Lubbard there up for the shot. Could not really get it off there, so it is now controlled by Maya Scheidt. Sadie Hill now wide open from the top of the arc, hits the 3, and she does that about once per game. You see her pull it up from the top of the arc. Nailed it.
Yeah, with Sadie Hill, those I know three-pointers aren't her strongest suit. She only averages 24% on three-pointers. But with that, she just made that look so easy.
And we've seen her do that now the last 3 games in a row. I think it's been the first quarter almost every game as well. She, you know, pulls up that quick 3-point shot from the top of the arc, and she nails it. And some pressure from UIndy once again causing UMSL some problems, but they finally get the ball over the timeline now. And now they can get their play set up. Stokes looking to get the ball in. Now gets it over to Ramthan. Now into Stewart. Stewart working on Hill. And she goes up for her shot and is fouled. 2 defenders were there. Foul will be called, looks to be on Sadie Hill. Check that, it'll be Elise Ortiz.
Yeah, that'll be her first foul of the game here. So already, this will be foul number 4 for the foul number 4 for the Greyhounds, while UMSL only sits at 1.
And Stewart, an 87% shooter on the year, hits her first free throw, making it a 12-9 game. Stewart now to put up her second shot to get them onto 10 points, and she does not do so. Went off the front iron, now controlled by Wells. Scheidt now with the ball over to Ortiz. Ortiz quickly pulls that up. It looks to be short. It is short. UMSL will now have possession.
Yeah, with that 3-point shot for Ortiz, she looked like she had great form, but just a little too short here as it ended up becoming an air ball.
Stokes gets the ball past the pressure of UIndy. Tries to pass it over to the opposite side of the court, but it is stolen by Wells. Wells a little move and a nice dish to Ortiz. Ortiz cannot put it up and in, however.
She got the shot blocked up as it went up by Kiera Stewart. There's so great defensive coverage there from UMSL.
Stokes now with the ball, Mullins guarding. Delavue with Ortiz on her, looking to get the ball into Stewart. She cannot currently get the ball into Stewart, however. Sadie Hill is doing some work down there on Stewart. 5 to shoot on the shot clock. Stokes drives in, blocked by Sadie Hill.
A lot of blocks going on here early on here, I've noticed, or blocks and steals and stuff like that. So this has been great. Like I said, the offense is kind of starting to pick up here just a tiny bit, but still really defense heavy.
I'm just looking to pass the ball, and they finally do get it to Stewart. Stewart working on Hill once again. 2 defenders on her again, and she could not even hit the rim, so that will be a shot clock violation on UMSL.
This kind of trap defense here from UIndy has been phenomenal so far. It's been a 2-man coverage here, and if that doesn't work, there's usually a third that's always near close by here. So defense already paying off, trying to show UMSL that they have a really great defensive too.
Sadie Hill with a little mid-range jumper now. No good, controlled by UMSL. Some more pressure once again from UIndy. She finally gets the ball over the timeline, however, with 2 defenders on her. ball now sits with Stokes. Stokes working on Wells, kicks it out there. And for three, it is no good. That was Mason, now rebounded and put back in by Delevue.
That's something, too, about UMSL is that if UIndy takes the lead there, UMSL is always there to respond. There hasn't been any really big breakaway leads here from either side, but UMSL is always there just breathing down UIndy's neck.
And Wells with a quick pull-up three, and she nails it with the clock running down here. What a good shot by Wells there, and UMSL will not try to take one of their own shots. So that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter where UIndy leads 15-11 here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network.
You got Tennessee, Georgia.
Georgia, easily, man.
Come on, Tennessee's 8.5-point dogs. Easiest spread of all time.
How?
Because they're good, and Georgia's played nobody.
At least Georgia has a defense.
Oh, come on. You're an IU fan. Your opinion doesn't matter.
My opinion doesn't matter. The only thing you know as a Purdue fan is how to lose to a 15 seed in the March Madness tournament.
We're bowl eligible, my guy. Are you? Make sure to tune in to Last Call Monday nights. We'll talk about Division I football, give you plenty of UIndy sports, some interviews in there as well, and then plenty of pro sports, whether it be NFL, MLB, the whole shebang.
Yeah, and there's at least one guy that knows what he's talking about.
And welcome back into Nickerson Hall for the beginning of the second quarter where UIndy currently holds a 15-11 advantage. In a pretty defensive first quarter, you could call it. You know, UMSL accustomed to these defensive battles. So we'll see what UMSL can conjure up here to get something going. Rampton with a quick little shot up, no good. Controlled by Stewart somehow, and she kicks it out. Now a three-pointer by UMSL is no good. Once again, rebounded by the Tritons. Stewart now with the ball, Jakitis on her. And she took one too many steps, travel.
A lot of travel calls here I've noticed from UMSL, I think, which is kind of odd. I mean, yes, we've seen travel calls before, but I feel like this is just one too many times here we've seen this. It's more than usual.
And looking at the rebounding battle today, UMSL currently leads that 14-4.
Yeah, UIndy's rebounding there is just not there for this team. While UMSL, it's pretty much just free gimmies at this point.
Ortiz with a handoff to Mullins now. Mullins looking to drive in there. The nice little move, but misses the shot. Almost had a little highlight reel play there. Now with Blake, Mullins on her. That'll be a kickball on Ortiz. Stuck her foot out. Look at a little block with her foot.
Yeah, we've been seeing that a little bit here recently. In the past few games here, a lot of kickball calls here, and obviously it's not intentional, but something that you just can't control. But it seems to be happening a lot here recently.
Now, the ball will be inbounded there to Stokes, getting the screen from Stewart, and she pulls up her mid-range jumper, no good. Another rebound by Stewart. She now kicks it over to Rampton, who puts up her shot and is fouled. The rebounding game has been a truly difficult one here for the Greyhounds this afternoon.
It's very one-sided, to say the least here. UMSL's just leading that category. Their scale's all the way to the bottom, while UIndy's all the way to the top.
So Rampton at the line to shoot two more shots. She shot two earlier, went 1 for 2 from the line. She is an 86% shooter on the year. And she's one of their 3 freshmen that starts for this team. So a fairly inexperienced team like we mentioned earlier in the pregame.
And with that, she is the only freshman on this team that averages double-digit points a game, coming in at 12 points a game. That's amazing as a freshman.
And she nails both free throws. And speaking of Rampton, she led her high school last year to a 29-0 season and a state title. How about that?
I don't think it could get any better for him.
It's about as good as you can do. Now with Patton on the far side 3, kicks it over to Scheidt in the corner. Scheidt pump fakes, gets it to Sadie Hill. Sadie Hill working on Stewart. Sadie Hill with a nice little move to get around Stewart, and the layup goes up and in.
That's something I noticed a little bit about UMSL is that we got that 2-man, 3-man defensive coverage there. But if UIndy finds someone open, they leave that player for UIndy wide open, and then UIndy is fantastic at taking advantage of that.
And Blake there missed the shot. UIndy going for the rebound, could not corral it, so it went out of bounds. So it'll stay on this side of the court with the Tritons. So yet again, more rebounding for the Tritons.
Like I've said, the rebounding there for them both. 16-4 now on rebounds in favor of the Tritons.
Stokes pulls it up with Wells right in her face, cannot get it, and Patton brings down a rare UIndy rebound, you could call it. Wells, look at the crossover move, steps back, passes to Sadie Hill. Sadie Hill moves around Stewart, tries to kick it out to Patton, but
nice
cannot.
no look.
Yeah, that would have been a really pretty no-look pass, but she could not get it to her, unfortunately. It was stolen away by the Tritons. Now with Blake working on Mullins. She pulls it up, kind of off balance, and she hits it.
Whatever it takes to get him in the bucket there. Wonky shot, but hey, it paid off.
Scheidt now with the ball, and they're doing this little zone. This zone again, UMSL is on the defensive side. You have Scheidt open in the corner. She gets around the defender, and she got fouled there by Ramthen. A little bit of a hand you could see kind of went down onto her.
Yeah, just a little bit here, so this will be good here. Good placement here for UIndy.
Two subs coming in for the Tritons. That'll be Alex Wolf and Shania Lubbard. Sadie Hill now working on Wolf, and then finds the open runner in the line of Wells, but she could not put the layup in.
Just a little bit too much power on that one there. It looked like it would have been beautiful to go in there, but just a little bit too much oomph.
Now with Ramthen. She gives it to Lubbard, and Lubbard, yet again, another travel on the Tritons. And is their 11th of the game.
Yeah, those fouls, the travel cost for UMSL has just not been, it's just been bad for them at this point here. But that's something UIndy has been taking care of here for them, is they've been really careful about the fouls too.
Well, slowing down the pace a little bit here, getting the right play set up for the Greyhounds. Scheidt now gets over Jakaitis. Jakaitis over to Mullins in the corner. Sadie Hill now going to work on Wolf, but she kicks it back out to Mullins. And then back into Hill once again. Now she goes to work on Wolf, puts it up, no good. But she gets back her own rebound and puts it up again, and is fouled. Sadie Hill with a bit of rebounding herself there.
Yeah, something that's rare to see, kind of, we've been seeing this Greyhounds team being able to try to rebound their own ball. Something they're not usually used to doing here, but right now it's showing really well here, especially for Sadie Hill.
Sadie Hill, an 82% shooter on the year. And really, free throws have been, the story of the season for the Greyhounds. They're really good, best in the GLVC on the percentages.
That they are indeed. They come in for the free throws at 78%.
And that is the best mark in the conference.
And again, the last game against Missouri S&T, they were 100% for the free throws. Yes, it was only 8 shots, but still, 8 free points right there.
And 2 swishes from Sadie Hill makes it a 19-15 Greyhound advantage. And some pressure once again from the Greyhounds, a bit less than it was earlier in the game. A bit more of a half-court press. Now with Ramthen in the corner. She's looking to kick the ball in there, but she kicks it back out now. It is now with Lubbard. Now with Blake, top of the key with Mullins guarding. She drives it in on Mullins. And it is blocked by Sadie Hill, and that'll be another shot clock violation. So yet again, another good defensive possession by the Greyhounds.
UIndy has been really good at trying to break this Triton team down defensively here. Yeah, and yes, like we said multiple times, that this is a defense-heavy game here. But UIndy is just taking and seeing what they can learn from UMSL, and they're applying it to themselves, and it's been just as stellar.
Moshlight gets the screen from Jakaitis, and she drives in and get the ball stolen away, but they're going to call a foul on the floor against the Tritons. That'll go against Alyssa Stokes. UIndy now to inbound the ball. Maya Scheit to inbound. And she kicks it all the way out to Jakaitis. Mark Mitchell now almost onto the court, calling the play, getting the play set up for the Greyhounds.
That's something we noticed from Mitchell a lot, is that he likes to make sure that this lineup is set and where they are to make sure before they put the play into action.
Now into Sadie Hill. Nice catch by her. With up her shot, no good. It was a tough shot there. Now corralled down by the Tritons. So now with Ramthan. Goes right in, and it'll be a blocking foul called on Maya Scheit. Did not have her feet set.
Kind of another call. We usually don't see that from the Greyhounds as often, so.
And right here you can see she didn't quite have her feet set yet, still moving when the contact was initiated. So Ramthan, 2 more shots for her. She knocked down her last 2. This time she knocks down the 3rd. 3-point advantage for the Greyhounds with 5:21 left to go in the game. Her second shot up, and that one is off the back iron, no good, rebounded by Jakaitis.
That is her first missed free throw of the entire game. She's now 4 for 5 on the day. Or excuse me, rather, 5 for 6.
And Alana Wells there with a little drive into the lane around her defender, gets the layup to go. Some pressure once again from the Greyhounds. Maison now has the ball and kicks it over to Ramthan. Now Lubbert at the top of the key. Looking to drive in there is Blake. Cannot, so she kicks it back out to Lubbert once again. Now back over to Blake. Sadie Hill guarding. Blake is around 2 defenders, puts up a little jumper from that GLVC logo and nails it.
And she had a lot of pressure on her, but somehow she's able to shrug off the pressure and able to get that in there, so a remarkable shot.
And we've seen some off-balance shots go from Upsall today. It's kind of their game, isn't it?
It kind of is, really, to be honest with you. It's just whenever they can get in, it works for them.
And a nice play from the Greyhounds. Sadie Hill, Jakaitis. Jakaitis made that little jumping pass there. Got over to Mullins, and Mullins knocked down the open corner 3. Right here you can see the Jakaitis pass while she was jumping, and Mullins knocked it down. And some pressure once again from the Greyhounds. And she stepped out of bounds. Maison did, so that'll be UIndy ball. Yet, once again, that pressure for UIndy.
I'm telling you, man, they're learning lessons from this UMSL team, trying to pick up what they can learn, and right now they're using that defense against them, and it's working out brilliantly for them.
And that will be the media timeout here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the University of Indianapolis. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, FM radio, HD radios, or even on our website at wicronline.org, a different kind of public radio.
He's just a big old sweet boy.
Back here at the University of Indianapolis, where UIndy currently holds a 24-18 advantage. And there's one of those, off the foot jumpers, and here was that nice pass from Jakaitis over to Mullins. Mullins knocking down the open corner 3.
Jody Mullins has just been so impressive on 3-pointers this year. She's one of the better ones on the team, only coming in at 45%. So 3-pointers are your thing. Jody Mullins is the one to turn to.
UIndy now with one of their largest leads of the game at 6 points. Mullins now with the ball once again. She's going to pull up again, and that one is just off the back iron. Corralled now by Stewart, and Wells going for the steal there. Looks to hit Stewart on the arm. That'll be a foul on Alana Wells. So Umsel here to inbound with Shea Delaveau. So that pressure once again from the Greyhounds. looking to force once again another turnover by the Tritons. And that they do. Once again.
They're forcing them into these turnovers. And like I said, man, I may sound like a broken record by the end of this, but they're taking what they've been seeing from UMSL so far. This Triton team has just been paying off, and it's working well in favor of the Greyhounds.
And we've seen the whole year, when UIndy brings that full court pressure, it really, really frustrates the defense. We saw it at Drury, we saw it just a few days ago. In that game, they almost had, on Thursday, but they ended up losing that one. But right here, Jacaitis looking to get the ball out of the hands of like 2 defenders, but they will call a jump ball, and it will stay on this side of the court with the Greyhounds.
Like Jacaitis shrugging her shoulders, fighting off the Triton players, trying to get control of that ball, and it did well.
Triton now has the ball here on the near side 3-point arc as a screen from Jacaitis. 5 to shoot on the shot clock. Wells might have to pull up here. Wells drives in, pulls it up, no good. Rebounded here by UMSL. Stolen away then by Wells. Over to Scheit. And then Wells now open for 3. She's going to pull that one, and that one is good.
Alana Wells' 3-pointers have been deadly today. They have just been so phenomenal. She's now, I believe, 2 for 3 on the day here. So her 3-point skills have just been phenomenal.
Rampton now with the ball, looking to get something going for the Tritons as they are now trailing by 9 here at Nickerson Hall. Stewart now with the ball. That is one of their best players. She was on the first team all GLVC last year. And she misses that one now, rebounded by Wells. Wells down the court quickly with a little floater there, no good. Rebounded by UMSL.
Saw a lot of smacking her hands there. She should have gotten that rebound. She didn't.
So UMSL once again setting up the play now with Rampton on the far side 3-point arc. Kicks it in there to Delaveau. And then back out to Rampton. She's open for her 3, and that one's off the glass and no good.
That's another thing. UMSL's 3-pointers have not been there. They're not 0 for 4. They have not made a single 3-pointer today.
And they only make about 4 3-pointers a game, so they are not really known as a 3-point shooting team. Scheit now with the ball. Jacaitis now over to Mullins in the far side 3-point arc. Looking to get it inside, and she does now to Ortiz. Ortiz with a little turnaround jumper as the shot clock's winding down, no good. Rebounded now by UMSL. Blake now with the ball. Over to Rampton. Now Rampton again, once again in the corner. And she kicks it over to Maison. Now with Blake. Blake working on Wells. Once again, clock winding down. So a 3 is put up by Rampton, and that is no good. Rebounded now by Wells. Wells now with the ball, slowing it down here. Only about 45 seconds left to go in the first half. Ortiz, a little screen there. Wells drives it in on Blake, puts up the shot, and that is no good, but she is fouled there by Blake. So 2 shots coming up for Alana Wells.
And Alana Wells is one of the big players here for the team on the free throw percentages. Only coming in at 74% here. This will be her first time up at the free throw line today.
And she is a 74% free throw shooter. So kind of average compared to this UIndy team. About average on their percentages. And her first shot is up and good. Gives UIndy their first double-digit advantage of the afternoon.
And once UIndy gets these bigger leads, it is really hard for them for the other team to get that lead back.
Second shot for Wells, up and good as well. So now an 11-point advantage for the Greyhounds. About 8 seconds on the shot clock and game clock, separating it. Delaveau now with the ball pressure once again from the Greyhounds. She finally gets out of it, gets over to Blake. Chakamba guarding. Now with Rampton. Now into Stewart. Stewart working on Ortiz, and she travels once again. So UIndy should have the last shot here of the half, up by 11.
You're up by 11. There's 17 seconds to play here. You'd think UIndy would just kind of want to slow it down here, just maybe dribble it out. You got a lot got a lot of real estate left here to play with, so.
And how about that defensive effort so far from the Greyhounds tonight? Only 18 points allowed in the first half, barring another score here by UMSL late.
This is one of the lower scores we've seen from a UIndy opponent here within the first half here, so definitely that defense has been paying off in such a big way.
Wells now with the ball, 10 to shoot in the half. He's going to go to work on Ramthen, and she looks to double dribble, so UMSL might end up getting the 20 here if they can get a shot off and nail it.
Well, we've got 6 seconds to play with, so they got to be really carefully quick how they do this.
Blake with the ball, 4 to shoot. She's going to drive all the way in. She's going to put up a little floater, and that one is good right as the buzzer sounds. So a little bit of a momentum swing heading into halftime as UIndy takes the lead into the locker room, 29-20, here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Spurgeon. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
I pledged.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Spurgeon. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Wow, that's so many memories, I would say. I think the things that when my teammates and I get together, what we enjoy the most, I think, are just all the stories, all the things that happen between us playing against some of the best schools. You know, we played some Division I schools. We beat Eastern Illinois twice. A thrill for a Division II school to go in and to beat a Division I school. And I think we remember, you know, feeling like kind of the David versus Goliath. And that's what I think we realized, if you can come together as a group, you know, that you can have success. Well, I think any competitive person, it's tough. But I still look at it today, you know, it's been 30 years since I played competitive basketball, and In the business world and the education world, you lose, and things happen, and you go back to your playing days, and you got knocked down, and you got to get back up. So that was kind of our mantra. I think to have dreams. As a little kid, I had dreams that I wanted to do something athletically, and basketball was my passion. And so I don't care what it is, do something that you like, that you're passionate about. That to me is the most important thing, and then work to achieve it. And if you work hard enough at it, I think your dreams can come true, even when people tell you it'll never happen. And that to me was kind of the David versus Goliath thing. Yeah, and it's a cliche, but I do think life is a game. Life is a competition. And I think I was prepared because I competed in college, and I say the same thing to people. You kind of those same attributes. You have to work hard, you have to practice what you want to do, and you have to believe in yourself, and you have to have those dreams, and you put that package together, and I think it's a pretty good package for success. Hi, I'm Larry Tucker. I'm a former NCAA student athlete from Lewis University.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
From court to court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
into Nickerson Hall. Third quarter getting ready to start. UIndy with the 29-20 advantage after that late shot by Umsel. Got it down to single digits once again. And Landon, that pressure from the Greyhounds has caused chaos for the Tritons all afternoon long.
I think Umsel kind of went into this game thinking, okay, we know our stuff on defense. We know what we can do. UIndy's not really known for their defense at the moment, or at times. They kind of thought this would be an easy game for them, but no, UIndy's actually giving Umsel a run for their money here on this. So both defensive ends have just been stellar here today.
And UIndy holding a 9-point advantage, although they are losing in the rebound battle 23-11.
Yeah, the rebounds just have not been there for the Greyhounds. That has not been their strong suit, while Umsel has just been everywhere at once when it comes down to these rebounds.
Stokes now with the ball driving in on Ortiz. She was up her little left-hand floater. It is good. Now down to a 7-point lead for the Greyhounds. Quick little bucket there from the Tritons. Scheidt now taking the ball over the big eye in the middle of the court. Chicamba in the game once again for the Greyhounds. Ortiz now with the ball. And here's Chicamba now. Back over to Ortiz, got it into Patton. Patton, a little move around her defender, was wide open. Found herself wide open after that move. Layup for her. And then another turnover committed by the Tritons. Scheidt now over to Chicamba. Chicamba's layup is good. Chicamba gets her first field goal of her career. Tritons now with the ball. Now with Stokes. Stokes puts up the mid-range jumper from the free throw line. No good, but rebounded by Ramthen. Ramthen up, no good, but she is fouled. And after that previous steal by Maya Scheidt, she now has 3 steals on the night, and that is her season high this year and also matches her career high for steals in a game. So one more steal for her, and she'll have her career high.
So great, just outstanding drive here for Maya Scheidt. If she can get this would be amazing for her, for this grad student, for everything that she's done here for UIndy here.
Ramthen missed the first of 2 free throws, unusual for her. Second one also no good. Very unusual 2 shots there from Ramthen. Ortiz on the floor there, ends up getting it over to Scheidt. Patton now down the floor quickly. Almost a nice pass there to Chicamba, knocked out of bounds by Blake.
Yeah, Blake just was able to get her hands on it. The pass was intended to go to Scheidt.
Scheidt now to inbound, and she kicks it all the way out to Ortiz, almost at the logo. Mullins now getting the play set up as Mark Mitchell is giving them their instructions. Screen set from Ortiz. Mullins driving it all the way in. Layup up, no good. Rebounded by Delavue of the Tritons.
Yeah, 2 to 3 Tritons players there that were just all around here. So, Mullins just didn't have a lot of real estate to work with there.
Stewart now working on Ortiz. A nice little pass there in to Delavue, and Delavue puts the layup up and in.
Easy shot there by Delavue. I mean, UIndy just didn't really do anything really there on that defensive stop.
And that was a nice find there by Stewart, who really isn't known for her assists. Ortiz now with the ball. This zone once again from Umsel. Patton now wide open from the mid-range, cannot knock it down. Rebounded by Ramthen. Got a little whack there from Ortiz, so a foul will be called on her.
Pretty obvious foul. I think she was just trying to go. I think she tried to steal it out of. Her plan was to steal it out before it went to her hands, and it just didn't pay off.
Ramthen now to inbound for Umsel. And she gets it in there to Stokes. And then she finds Blake, and that breaks the full court press. Stokes now gets the play set up, and she's going to pull up from the mid-range here, and she knocks it down. Another mid-range jumper from Umsel, and they've been doing that pretty often tonight, finding that mid-range spot and just pulling it up and knocking it down.
That seems to be their sweet spot at the moment. If they find that mid-range jumper opportunity, they will take it. They do not hesitate.
And a nice find from Ortiz there. She got the ball into Hill. Hill had the ball blocked away and will stay on this side of the floor with the Greyhounds. Right there you can see Ramthen got her hand in there, not allowing Sadie Hill to go up for the layup. Liv Becker checks in for the Greyhounds, in for Mullins. Alana was also checked in for the Greyhounds, taking out Chicamba. And here is Wells. Receiving the screen from Sadie Hill. She's going to drive in there, kicks it out to Liv Becker. Liv Becker now back out to Wells once again, and she gets the ball stolen away there by Stokes. Now with Delavue, Sadie Hill guarding. Looking to get it into Stewart, cannot, so she kicks it over to Ramthen. Now with Stokes, and she's going to pull it from long range, and that gets all air, saved from going out of bounds by Umsel there, but not enough there to save it. He'll now stay with UIndy. And a nice find from Alana Wells into Liv Becker. Becker now working on 2 defenders, and she kicks it over to Scheidt. Scheidt pulls up from the mid-range after a little drive-in, cannot get it, but Liv Becker gets the rebound, goes up, and is fouled.
Some UIndy's pulling off some rebounds here, which is some good to see here. But Liv Becker, she had the 2-man coverage right all over her. She just could not have anything to do. Dang near had to use her tippy toes to try to stay inbounds.
And Liv Becker is the best shooter from the line on this team, 88% on the year. UIndy is still perfect from the line tonight, 6 for 6. Make it 7 for 7. Second shot for Liv Becker up, and that one is good as well, taking it back to a 9-point Greyhound lead. Some pressure once again from the Greyhounds, as we've seen all night long. It's forced Umsel into plenty of turnovers here. See if Umsel can break it now, and they cannot, as it's thrown right to Liv Becker. Liv Becker, it's 4-on-2 down the court, and she, little move there, but she traveled. You can see because she kind of took the ball under her right hand, but didn't end up dribbling.
It's rare now that we see we're looking for a travel call there for UIndy.
The pressure here once again from the Greyhounds, looking to force Umsel into another turnover. They finally get it past the timeline here. Now with Blake, Blake is wide open. She pulls up, and that is no good. Rebounded by Sadie Hill.
And UIndy's defense was just not there on that one. They were just almost non-existent as they were focused on someone else. You cannot afford to leave her wide open like that.
You definitely cannot. And Blake is a 41% shooter from outside of the arc this year, so a rare open miss from her. Jakaitis now with the ball, getting Sadie Hill. Sadie Hill with a smaller Stokes on her. Gets it up, no good. Rebounded once again by the Greyhounds. Scheidt now, top of the key. Back to Sadie again, once again on the smaller Stokes. A nice little move there, and she gets to go this time. That little spin move to get past the smaller defender there. All too easy for Sadie Hill.
That it was Sadie Hill doing typical Sadie Hill things.
Pressure once again, almost forces Umsel into another turnover, but they finally get it into Delavue. Delavue now over to Wolf. The ball is almost stolen away there.
Looked like it was punched, like Alana Wells tried to punch it out there.
And that'll be a media timeout on the floor here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network.
Award-winning news coverage. Brought to you by ethical journalists that care about you. We have you covered on crime, latest on sports, and the best in entertainment. This is UINDYTV News.
Again at Nickerson Hall, where UIndy currently holds an 11-point lead over the Tritons. Right here you can see Sadie Hill had the smaller defender on her, a little spin move to get around her defender, left-hand layup, easy for her. And Sadie Hill with that smaller Stokes on her. It's fairly easy for Sadie Hill, to get past the smaller defender there.
And Sadie Hill is one of the taller players on UIndy as she stands 6 foot, while Stokes sits only at 5'5". So a size differential has been a major impact against the Umsel team.
Tritons now to inbound the ball, looking to get back in this game once again. Here is the 5'5" Stokes. Now with Delavue, looking to get it inside, but she kicks it out to Ram from the top of the key. Some passes between UIndy's defense there, they just had him passing around. UMSL really wasn't aware of the shot clock there, were they?
I was going to say, I was about to say, I was wondering if they didn't even know about the shot clock, how much time they left on the clock.
Yeah, no one really seemed aware that they kept passing it around. All of a sudden, the buzzer goes off. Everyone kind of looks around like, that went off?
Because Ramthan had the look on her face. She said the shot clock was that low.
And Sadie Hill, the shot's no good there. Rebounded by Liv Becker. They're going to call a jump ball on the rebound. And that ball will stay with the Greyhounds. And a timeout looked to be called by UMSL here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the University of Indianapolis. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, FM radio, HD radios, or even on our website at wicronline.org, a different kind of public radio.
Once again, where UIndy still holds that 11-point advantage over the visiting Tritons. And Landon for UMSL, some offense struggles today from them. What can they do to get going and break down this UIndy defense?
I think they really have to see and study what UIndy's been able to do on their offensive run here. If they can kind of study that, then maybe something they could try to learn and pick up and adapt on. But right now, because as UIndy's been learning from UMSL's defense, it hasn't been the same way, vice versa.
Sadie Hill now with the ball working on Alex Wolf, and she looked to be fouled. I do not believe they're going to count that shot, so it will be an on-the-floor foul. And it is, and it's Alex Wolf on the foul. Tried to inbound, gets in right to Becker, and Becker, she is fouled as she goes up for her shot. So it looks to be 2 more shots coming up for Liv Becker. They're actually going to call it on the floor, or is it going to be a free throw? It looks to be free throws for Liv Becker now.
Other than her free throws, she hasn't had very many points here today. Their first points of the day were the free throws, so looking to make this points 3 and 4.
And there is point number 3. And Liv Becker's only played 3 minutes in this game. It's not much game time for her tonight. And there, she missed the free throw this time. A rare miss from Liv Becker. That is UIndy's first missed free throw in 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, they were 100% their last game against MST, and now that 100% streak has officially gone away.
Blake now with the ball driving on Sadie Hill. They're going to call a foul on Sadie Hill. Sadie Hill kind of blocking her path to the basket. Feet are moving still. That'll get called time and time again on any player. So I'm still to inbound the ball now with Stokes. And she gets the screen from Wolf. Stokes with a little mid-range floater up and good with 3 defenders right up on her.
I'm telling you, man, it's this weird shots you were talking about earlier in that first half. They find a way to make them work any way they can.
UIndy still holds a double-digit lead over the Tritons. They almost lose the ball there, but it was knocked out of bounds by Morgan Ramtham. Wells now inbounds the shot, now back to Wells. Jakaitis sizing up her defender there in the paint. And there she gets the ball now on Wolf. Nice move, got around her and got the layup to go.
Good shot there from Jakaitis, able to just kind of maneuver her body in such a way that it was able to go in. That was great here for her first points of the day.
UMSL breaks the press once again. UMSL starting to figure out that press once and for all. Now with Wolf working on Jakaitis. And her shot, no good, blocked out of bounds. So it will stay on this side of the court as UMSL brings in 2 substitutions with Kira Stewart and Olivia Mason. And Mason now to inbound the ball, was blocked by Scheidt out of bounds. Mason to inbound once again for the UMSL Tritons. Now with Stokes as she goes into the lane, shot no good, rebounded once again by Stokes. She got the ball back, now blocked away by Jakaitis. Rebounded once again, but that will be a shot clock violation, the 4th of the game on the Tritons. They had their fair share of chances there.
They did. They had the ball so many times. The only time that was really close was when Caroline Jakaitis was nearly able to snag it away, but it was almost like the ball had like grease on it or something. There was almost like butterfingers. They could not just keep control of it, giving UMSL so many more chances to get on the control of the ball.
And for the first time tonight, Alani Williams-Harris checks in. She's usually a starter, but now she's only checking in for the first time in the late 3rd quarter.
Kind of interesting from Mitchell's standpoint of why he put in Williams-Harris this late, unless if there's something that we don't know about. But like I said earlier too, this could be a big strategy call too from Mitchell.
Here's Maya Scheidt pulling up from deep 3-point range. That will be no good, and that will go out of bounds. UMSL will now have possession. And looking at UMSL, Kira Stewart, all GLVC unanimously first team selection last year, only 1 point tonight.
It's kind of been an off night for her here too, but then again, she only averages about 7 points a game, so she's kind of in that mid range there just a little bit, especially this year.
And then she's right there, and she got fouled. Looks to be a clean block, but they will call the foul on Sadie Hill, and that will be her 3rd of the game.
So now you would have to assume with Mitchell, once the fouls start kind of racking up here for a certain player, they kind of start entering that danger zone a little bit. And so usually in typical Mark Mitchell fashion, they'll think about pulling them aside just a little bit, just to give them some relaxation time, give them some breathing space, and he'll do that same if they even get to 4.
Kira Stewart missed the first of 2, and she makes the second one, giving her 2nd point of the night. And there is Ortiz checking in for Sadie Hill as she is on 3 fouls. 2:38 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. UIndy still with that 11-point advantage that they've had for most of the 3rd quarter. Some pressure now from UMSL, but they're going to start backing off here. Mullins looking to get the ball over the timeline, and she almost loses it. She can't get the ball off, and now a timeout is going to be called by Mark Mitchell due to that pressure from UMSL.
That was great pressure there from UMSL. It was really key and important that they had him right near the volleyball line to try to pressure him into going off sides there. So really impressive stuff here from the Tritons.
And we will take a timeout along with them here on UINDYTV in the GLVC Sports Network. Here once again at the University of Indianapolis, where UIndy still holds the 11-point advantage that we've seen for most of the second half. And for UIndy, they held a similar advantage on Thursday, but they couldn't close it out. What can they do tonight a little bit differently to close this game out?
Repeat the same techniques that they had in the first 3 quarters, so they can just carry that over going into the 4th quarter. I think they'll be able to pull it off here. The 4th quarter against MST was a completely different, not typical UIndy style. So if they just try to keep up that same energy, I think this could be a win here tonight for them.
And there is Stewart's first field goal of the night, giving her her 4th point. And Stewart last year, she shot 63% from the field, a team high last season, and she was obviously one of the best players in the GLVC. Not having a very good season so far this year, though. And there's Williams-Harris missing her 3, rebounded by Ortiz, now with Liv Becker on the sideline, and she got fouled as she was trying to go around her defender. Maya Scheidt checks back in for Jody Mullins, and she's going to inbound for the Greyhounds. Into Liv Becker and back to Scheidt. Becker now at top of the key. working on Blake. She loses the ball. It's going to be called looks to be a jump ball, and it will go with Umsel. So Umsel, you score here, maybe a bit of a swing in momentum here. 2 straight buckets could close this gap down to 7 or even 6.
It very well could be, Jace. And this is something that we kind of saw from the Missouri S&T game here on Tuesday, that if the opponent was able to close in UIndy, just could not able to seal the deal here, and it looks like it may be heading that way.
And Kiera Stewart now getting going for the Tritons, and it was a very similar thing on Thursday where Alex Kerr got going, and that ended up closing out the Greyhounds. So a very similar scenario here for the Greyhounds. Ortiz now working on Stewart, and Stewart now corrals the rebound. So Stewart now starting to wake up. She now has 4 points and 6 rebounds for herself. Now with Blake, Liftbecker guarding. 10 to shoot on the shot clock, and a foul will be called on the floor. It looks to be against Caroline Jakaitis while she was guarding Stewart.
And that will be Jakaitis' 3rd foul of the night. So again, you can expect to probably see Mitchell pull Jakaitis back onto the bench here very soon.
And it's very similar to the Drury game where a lot of the forwards were racking up fouls. In the Drury game, all 3 forwards end up having 4 or even fouled out by the end of that game.
A lot of people almost fouled out that game.
It was a very foul game. There were 70 combined fouls in that game alone. But here is Ramthlin shooting 2 more shots. She is 5 from the 8 from the line today. A frequent flyer at the line tonight. And she misses her first, so she's now 5 of 9 from the line. A bit uncharacteristic from her, but she is an 86% shooter.
Yeah, Morgan Rantham just kind of having an off day here at the moment.
And she misses another one,
bringing that down to
50%.
Yeah, something just ain't clicking right now with
She's missed 4 in a row now. Yeah, she's missed 4 in a row now from the line. Williams Harris now with the ball. About 8 seconds separating the game clock and the shot clock. Williams Harris now going to work here. A nice little move to get past her defender, but she does not miss the shot and is now rebounded by Tori Standifer, seeing her first minutes of the night. 7 to shoot now. Put up by Umsel, no good, rebounded by Stewart. Stewart now puts it up for herself, and she puts it up and in, and the buzzer will now ring. So Stewart getting going here. 5-point lead now for the Greyhounds. Here comes the Tritons. And that'll be the end of the 4th quarter here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network.
Award-winning news coverage. Brought to you by ethical journalists that care about you. We have you covered on crime, latest on sports, and the best in entertainment. This is UINDYTV News.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the University of Indianapolis. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, FM radio, HD radios, or even on our website at wicronline.org, a different kind of public radio.
Welcome back in Nickerson Hall for the start of the 4th quarter, where UIndy only holds a 5-point advantage now, as Umsel had a little run to end the quarter. It was a 7-0 run to end the quarter there. Caitlin Krebs now in the game, kicks it out to Jakaitis at the top of the key. Krebs now going in to the lane, kicks it out to Patton. Patton now going to work on Stewart. Patton and she traveled, trying to go to work on Stewart. So Stewart now having her impact both on offense and defense.
It took her a little bit to get going here, but yeah, it was like we were saying in the break, Jace. This could be deja vu all over again for the Greyhounds.
And I mentioned Stewart earlier in the game how she was having some struggles tonight, but right as I said that, she starts to go off now. Kind of a commentator's jinx there. Here is Stewart once again scoring almost again, but rebounded by Stewart, and she almost kicks it out there to Stokes, but Scheit will now control the ball. Wells now moving into the lane, puts up her layup, no good. Rebounded once again by Umsel and Ramthen.
These rebounds have just not been there for the Greyhounds.
It's a 36-20 advantage for the Tritons. Definitely not what you want to see if you're Coach Mark Mitchell, but you see it far too often in almost every game from the Greyhounds. The ball gets into Stewart once again, and she almost puts it, well, she does put it over the head of Stokes, but Stokes still retains. 5 to shoot on the shot clock now. 3, 2, 1, and they cannot get a shot off once again. That's the 5th time tonight that UND has forced them into a shot clock violation.
That means that this defense is just kicking up here, but it's almost, as the defense has been improving here, it's like that offense just seems to be slightly going away.
And checking out for Umsel is Kira Stewart. They bring in Alex Wolf in replacement. So the player that got the comeback started for the Tritons is now checked out. See if UND can take advantage of that. Here is Sadie Hill now working on a smaller Ramtham. She kicks it over to Patton. Patton cannot get her layup to go, but she looks to be fouled. The Umsel fans right next to us don't seem to agree with that. But nonetheless, she will be shooting 2 shots. Jada Patton will. She's a 61% shooter on the year, looking to give UND 2 big shots here. First one is up and good.
She only has 2 points on the day here so far, now 3, looking to make it 4, and she does.
Back to a 7-point lead once again for the Greyhounds. 8 and some change left to play in the game. Ramthen now with the ball at the top of the key. She hands it off to Stokes. Stokes working on Wells. She pulls up from deep three-point range, and she cannot get it to go, but there'll be a foul called on the floor against the Hounds. So it'll stay on this side of the floor.
So now, once again, in Mark Mitchell fashion, you'd think Jada Patton would be here, going to the bench here very soon.
Stokes now with the ball. Looking to drive it in on Wells. She does so. Puts up her right hand little hook shot and gets it to go. So now back to a 5-point lead for the Greyhounds. A quick pass to Krebs. Krebs is going to pull it from mid-range, and she cannot get it to go. Rebounded by Umsel. And a foul is now called on Sadie Hill. So here come the Tritons once again.
So now Sadie Hill's 4th foul now.
And
she's heading back to the bench once again.
And definitely not what you want to see from Mark Mitchell. Sadie Hill, your leading scorer on the season, the person that you rely on so often. You don't want to see her with 4 fouls and not being able to play for most of the 4th quarter. Ramthen now with the ball, looking to cut the lead back to a 1-possession game for the first time since the early second half. And a foul once again called on UIndy. That one will go on Alana Wells. And that is Wells' 2nd foul, so she will stay in the game. 7:30 left to go here. Passed into Ramthen now in the corner. Ramthen looking to go to work on Patton. Does so. Puts up her little shot. No good. Rebounded by Jakaitis and kicked over to Scheit. Patton was wide open there as a runner, but Scheit could not find her, so she retains possession here. Kicks it now out to Wells. Wells receives the screen from Jakaitis. Goes the opposite way of the screen. Puts up her layup. No good. Rebounded by Wolf. Blake now with the ball. Going to try to go past Scheit. She gets past her. Layup no good, but now rebounded by Wolf. Wolf gets around her defender and puts her layup up and in. It is now a 3-point Hound advantage, and that will lead to a timeout by Mark Mitchell, who is looking right in the eyes of the referee. So timeout here on the floor. So we'll step aside here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the University of Indianapolis. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, FM radio, HD radios, or even on our website at wicronline.org, a different kind of public radio.
Back here at Nickerson Hall, where UIndy only holds a 3-point lead now. See what UIndy can get going to once again extend this lead. So Landon, UMSL ended up coming back in this game, like we mentioned, deja vu kind of feeling here at Nickerson Hall. What can the Hounds do to once again get going and avoid losing another game where they had full control of?
I mentioned it earlier too. Is like the defense has been really great for the Greyhounds, yes. But it's almost like they've forgotten the offense there. The offense just hasn't been there for them at all in these past 10 minutes of play. And honestly, it's going to be a tall task, I think, for UIndy to try to hold on to this lead.
And Jada Patton there going up for a bit of a weird shot, but she was fouled. Definitely not your number one choice of a shot if you wanted to take there, but nonetheless, she is going to the free throw line to shoot 2 more shots. And Kira Stewart checking back in for UMSL, and she will probably be in the rest of the game unless she ends up fouling out, which she only has 1 foul, so not very likely. And Patton's first shot up and good for her, so she is now 3 for 3 on the day. Patton's second shot up and good. 5-point lead for the Hounds, 6:40 left in the game. And UMSL here, I'm sure will be looking to get the ball into Stewart as soon as possible, as she's been the hot hand for the Tritons. And it's almost on by Patton there, but Rampton a little Euro step around the defender and gets fouled as she's going up for her shot. So 2 shots for Rampton, who is 5 for 10 from the line. You know, like I mentioned earlier, a bit uncharacteristic from her. But let's see if she can knock down 2 shots when it matters most.
So this will be interesting to see here from Rampton.
First shot up and good. Back to her usual ways of knocking down a free throw.
And, you know, something if you're UMSL too, I know the 3-pointers haven't been there for you, but if she gets this next bucket here, they're only down by 3, and they are. Maybe he's trying to see if they can expand with some of those 3-pointers.
3-point game has not really worked too well for them tonight. They are 0 for 7 from outside the 3-point arc. They only hit 4 a game. They are not a team that likes to shoot the 3 ball too often. They're more of a go inside, you know, do it in the paint kind of team. Speaking of in the paint, Jada Patton there driving in to the paint, right at the GLVC logo, pulls up and knocks down her jumper. So just Jada Patton here having a bit of a streak.
She's picking up the pace here just ever so slightly. She's got 6 points tonight. She's now the number 3 lead scorer for the Greyhounds here. Alana Wells first with 12, Sadie Hill with 9.
Blake now with the ball. Now with Rampton driving on into Patton, and that is good from Rampton. So Rampton now getting going for UMSL. Some offensive life here from both sides. Wells now with the ball, Blake guarding. She little juke there and got almost her defender go right past her. Patton now driving in on Stewart, and she loses the ball. Rampton steals. It's 3-on-2 down the court. Liv Becker now back on, and is now back to 5-on-5 once again. UMSL has a chance here to cut down to 1 or even tie the game up. Blake now with the ball. She looked to travel, and she did travel. UMSL's done a better job this half of not turning the ball over, especially here in the 4th quarter. That looks to be their first turnover of this quarter.
That it does, but yet UMSL still kind of holds that turnover lead with 22. UIndy only has 11 here, so that's something UIndy has been very cautious about too.
Scheidt now takes the ball over the big I in the middle of the court. 5 minutes left to play here at Nickerson Hall in regulation. Jada Patton now with the ball. Now it's Jakaitis. There'll be a foul called on the floor there on Olivia Mason. It'll be on the floor, so that will be Unity ball on the inbound. Scheit now to inbound, and she gets it into Liv Becker, who kicks it back out to Jakaitis at the top of the key, and Wells will reset. No rush here from the Greyhounds, who hold a 3-point lead late in the game here. Screen set from Patton, Wells keeping it at the three-point arc. Driving in on two defenders, puts up her layup, and she is fouled. Looks to be called there on Amaya Blake. So 2 shots coming up for Alana Wells. And it was called on Amaya Blake.
So we said Alana Wells will be back up to the line. She's already 2 for 2 on the day so far for free throws, so we could be looking at good hands here from Wells.
And once again, these are really big shots in the grand scheme of the game, and the first one is no good.
So commentator's curse once again.
Second shot to give UIndy a 2-possession lead. This one is also no good. So 2 big misses by Alana Wells. 4:30 left to play. UMSL now has the ball down by 3. What can UMSL set up here to possibly even tie the game with their first 3 of the night?
You think they'd have to try it? Maybe at least attempt it.
There it is right there, and she cannot knock it down, but Stewart gets the rebound, so they have the ball once again. Stewart now working on Jakaitis. Nice little pump fake, goes around the defender, gets the left-handed layup to go. 1-point lead for the Greyhounds. And that is now 10 points for Kira Stewart. 4 minutes left to play here at Nickerson Hall. UIndy once again losing a double-digit lead late in the game.
Everything that has gone wrong for the Greyhounds has gone wrong.
Liv Becker now with a little pump fake on her defender. Patton now ball top of the key, kicks it over to Wells. Wells almost finds Becker inside there, and it'll go out off of Stewart. Sadie Hill checking back in for the Greyhounds. She has 9 points on the night, but 4 fouls. So one more foul, and she will be done for the afternoon. Scheit now to inbound, and she gets it into Sadie Hill, who goes right up, and her shot is no good. Rebounded by UMSL. UMSL now has the chance to take their first lead of the night, I believe.
They've tied it up a couple of times, but I believe this could be the first lead for them.
And here is Stokes working on Wells. Now with Standifer. Back to Stokes. 8 to shoot, 7 to shoot. Over to Ramthen, she misses, but she was fouled. So 2 more shots for Ramthen, who's already shot 12 free throws tonight. She's, like I said earlier, a frequent flyer there at the line tonight.
That she is, and like you mentioned earlier too, we're saying with UMSL, they have not had the lead here tonight. Well, they've tied it a few times, but never had the lead, so a lot of pressure on Ramtham if you want to try to get this lead here right now, at least to tie it, then to take it.
So 2 huge shots from Ramtham here, looking to give UMSL their first lead of the afternoon. In a game they were behind by 11 for so long in the third quarter and fourth quarter. Sadie Hill checks back out once again, as that was her 5th foul. So Sadie Hill is done for the night, not what you want to see for the Greyhounds.
It's not what you want to see too, and she has, a couple games ago against Drury, she lost her double-digit point streak. And she got it again the other night against Missouri S&T, and she's lost it once again.
And Ramthen missed the first free throw, meaning they cannot take the lead here. Her second shot to tie the game is good. So we have a tie ball game, 46 all. 3:15 left to play. Patton down the court quickly. She now is going to try and reset the offense here. Now out to Wells. Wells has Stokes right up on her at that hound in the middle of the court. Wells still with the ball, working on Stokes. Loses it momentarily, but retains. 5 to shoot now for Maya Scheit. She drives in. Her layup up and good. Big shot there by Maya Scheit.
This is something I've always said about Maya Scheidt, is that she is one of the most strategic players out there on the game. When she recognizes that this game could go south for the Greyhounds, she always finds a way to come back very quickly, very diligently. She's very crafty at her work.
And a foul is going to be called on Kira Stewart. A little bit of an elbow there into Jakaitis. So a huge call on the grand scheme of things. Gives UIndy the ball once again up by 2.
And this is the loudest Nickerson Hall has been here tonight.
Yeah, that foul call definitely woke up the crowd. Here we go. Maya Scheidt now with the ball. 2:30 left to go in the game. Can UIndy pull it out, or will the late game heroics fall short once again? Jada Patton now with the ball, working on Ramthen. She misses her shot, rebounded by Becker, saved by Becker. Now with Wells, and she's going to reset.
Good
2
save
minutes
there
to
from
go.
Jakaitis too.
Yeah, it was a great save. Kept the ball alive, doesn't give UMSL the chance to tie once again. 10 to shoot on the shot clock now with Patton. Patton working on Ramthen. 2 defenders on her, and she just gets the ball to Jakaitis. Jakaitis misses a shot, rebound by Becker. Becker puts on the shot, and her shot is good. So some rebounding once again from the Hounds, gives the Hounds a 4-point lead.
The pack looks to be back.
And then another missed 3 by UMSL, but rebounded by the Stewarts. Now reset with Stokes. 15 to shoot. A minute 30 left to go. Stokes going to work on Wells. Now with Blake. Blake puts up her mid-range shot, and that's good. 2-point lead for the Hounds. We have an interesting finish here at Nickerson Hall. Jada Patton is tying her shoe on the opposite end of the court now. And a timeout will be called by Mark Mitchell due to that. So 1:11 left to go here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the University of Indianapolis. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, FM radio, HD radios, or even on our website at wicronline.org, a different kind of public radio.
Back here at Nickerson Hall, 1:11 left to play in the game. UIndy holds a 50-48 advantage. Can UIndy close this game out, Landon? What do you think?
I think it's going to be tough here for UIndy here, but as UMSL has been showing their strengths here late, so is UIndy here. So this is going to be a very crucial, critical last minute of play.
Almost on the way there by Wells, but Jakaitis has it. Stewart going up on Stewart. A tough shot by Jakaitis leads to now a 4-point UIndy advantage and a timeout by UMSL. So huge shot by Jakaitis gives UIndy that 4-point advantage here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network. Back here once again at Nickerson Hall, UIndy holds a 52-48 advantage. And an interesting finish upon us here at Nickerson Hall. So Landon, what do you think UMSL is going to draw up here?
I think they're going to have to draw up some really, really, really heavy defense here to start off with. I think this is going to be very crucial for them. If they can get that defense going again and try not to get UIndy to score and then try to improve on that offense here, you could see things sway back into the way of the Tritons.
As the Tritons will have the ball out of this timeout. And you would think they would go into Kira Stewart, who's been the hot hand of late for them, but it really could be anybody. You know, everyone's having, it's been a fairly even night across the board for the Tritons. See what they draw up here. Could be Ramthen, could be Blake, could be anybody on the floor here for the Tritons. 52.4 on the clock. Rampton to inbound, and she gets it into Stokes. Chikamba guarding, now it is Stewart. Stewart pulls up from mid-range, and she misses, but rebounded by Rampton. Rampton gets a rebound, and her shot's no good. Rebounded once again by Stewart. Stewart goes up for the shot, and she is fouled. UIndy, once again, a rebounding problem. Tough one to swallow if you are a Greyhound fan here. Stewart now two big, huge shots for UMSL.
This could be very crucial for him.
And she is 2 of 4 from the line tonight. 2 huge shots. First one up and good. Back down to a 1-score game once again. Stewart's second shot here to make it a 2-point game. Up and good. 2-point game once again here at Nickerson Hall. Williams-Harris checks back in for Chikamba. Williams-Harris provides some of that speed that UIndy might need to break this press. Wells now, and the press backs off. About 11 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. UMSL is going to let it play out, it seems. Now with Patton. She drives in, puts up the shot, and she is fouled. A questionable shot that early in the shot clock, but she will go to the free throw line.
That's good for her, too, because we've seen her time and time again. She's at 10 points now, so she could have the chance here to tie up a lot of Wells for the lead score of this game here. So a lot of pressure going on Jada Patton right now.
2 big shots coming up for Jada Patton. The refs are going to have a little bit of a discussion here. Not too sure what it is about. But if Patton is able to knock down both of these shots, it will extend that advantage to a 4-point lead once again. Now both teams are going to talk it over as the refs are talking about something. So we'll step aside here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network.
Award-winning news coverage. Brought to you by ethical journalists that care about you. We have you covered on crime, latest on sports, and the best in entertainment. This is UINDYTV News.
Hey, it's Giselle here on 88.7 WICR.
88.7 The Diamond, the only jazz and classical station in Indianapolis, completely led by the students of the University of Indianapolis. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, FM radio, HD radios, or even on our website at wicronline.org, a different kind of public radio.
Back here at Nickerson Hall for the final 26 seconds. UIndy getting ready to shoot 2 shots after the discussion from the refs, unless they decide to change the call here. They are reviewing something on that monitor right there, because we do have replay review here at Nickerson Hall. Score still remains at 52 to 50 points. 2 players in double figures tonight for the Hounds so far. Alana Wells with 12 and Jada Patton with 10. Patton is presumably getting ready to shoot 2 more shots. And looking over at UMSL, they have 4 players in double figures. Stokes with 12, Blake with 10, Rampton with 10, and Stewart with 12.
And something you got to love and appreciate about all these teams is it's the teamwork effort from both sides here. And, you know, no one's got a big head. Everyone's just playing as a team, and that's something that you just love to see.
And the refs currently are at center court, still discussing Looks like they're going to bring over both coaches to have a little discussion here. Talking about maybe what happened on the foul beforehand, and maybe there was some extra contact that they didn't like to see. Maybe a technical or flagrant could be called here. It looks like they're going to shoot free throws, though. So that discussion leads to nothing extra being added on here. So 2 shots for Jada Patton. Kind of iced Jada Patton, you could say. You know, she had to think about these 2 shots coming up for her now. First shot up, good. Clutch shot by Patton. 3-point advantage for the Greyhounds.
If she gets this one here, this could be big.
And she does. Clutch free throws from Jada Patton. And that will lead to a timeout from Missouri St. Louis here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network. And we're back here at Nickerson Hall on the campus of University of Indianapolis. 54-50 advantage, 26.5 on the clock. Landon, what can UMSL do right here?
This is going to be very, very, very crucial here for the Tritons as...
Oh, and a foul is going to be called on the Greyhounds. So that may send UMSL back to the free throw line. Not what you want to do there. You do not want to foul in that scenario. Let UMSL take whatever shot they have, and if they hit it, they hit it. But instead, you're giving them possibly 2 free points. And once again, it is Ramthun. She hits the first. So she started off the game rough on free throws, but as of late, she has been hitting all the clutch free throws. She's 9 of 15 from the line. And she misses a big one. Rebounded by Wells, and she's going to be immediately fouled, as the foul game will now have to be played by UMSL. And you would think that this would favor UIndy with their free throws and how good they are.
You would think so too, because right now UIndy's sitting really pretty at the free throw line, only coming in at 83% here. And like I said, you got a lot of Wells back up here at the line.
One of these shots, if she makes one, it's a 2-score game. The first one up, no good. Could be a crucial miss. And Wells is 2 of 5 from the line. She's really been, you know, the one person that only hasn't been hitting him as well as the other ones. But here is the big second shot. And it is good. So big shot there, and another timeout will be called by head coach Katie Vaughn. So we'll go ahead and step inside as well here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network. .5 left on the clock here at Nickerson Hall. Hounds hold a 4-point lead over the visiting UMSL Tritons. And UMSL has been pretty good as a visiting team this year. 3-2 on away games this year, but only 2-6 at home. Definitely an interesting mark there. See if UMSL can try to come back and, you know, keep that winning mark going from away games. Here's Ramthun. Ramthun puts up her shot, no good, rebounded by Patton, and Patton's going to be fouled, and she has the chance now to possibly close this game out.
This very well could be, she could very well be blowing out the final birthday cake, blowing out the final candle on this birthday cake.
So 2 shots for Patton, who has been absolutely clutch from the line. 6 of 6 from the line. She is both of these. She is now the leading scorer. First one up, and I jinxed her. No
it's
good.
that commentator's curse, man. It happens.
She can still tie, though, the leading scorer on this shot right here. And she puts it up, and that one is good. So she now has 13 points. 5-point lead for the Greyhounds. Here's Blake. They need to put a shot up quickly, and she loses the ball out of bounds, but it will stay on this side of the court. 10.6 on the clock. You would think if you're UMSL here, you need to just put up a 3, hope it goes in, cut the lead down to 2. Because a 2 doesn't really help too much in the grand scheme of things, but we'll see what they do here. They get it into Blake, and Blake is going to put up her shot eventually, and she does, and she makes it. 3-point game, 7.2 left on the clock. And a timeout will be called now by UIndy head coach Mark Mitchell. So we'll step aside hopefully one last time here on UINDYTV and the GLVC Sports Network. Back here at Nickerson Hall, where UIndy holds a 3-point lead. 2 shots coming up soon for the Hounds. So Landon, you think UMSL has any shot at winning this game now?
7 seconds. If they do, it is the tiniest of margins or chances to get anything really going here, because it will be UIndy ball here. So I think if UIndy just tries to slow down here with just the 7 seconds left, you got 3 points to play with. I would say just don't take any unnecessary risks.
That is definitely what head coach Mark Mitchell is telling his girls in the huddle right now. 7.2 on the clock. They're getting ready to inbound the ball, so they haven't been fouled quite yet, but you'd have to assume that UMSL is going to try to foul as soon as possible if they cannot get a steal. If they manage to get a steal, then they have a real shot at tying this game up. So Scheidt to inbound the ball. And they get it into Wells. And Wells will be shooting 2 shots. So they give it to Wells, who's been the most inconsistent from the line, but it seemed like it was drawn up for her. It seemed like Mark Mitchell wants to restore his confidence in her right here.
Very well could be.
So he's giving Wells the honor of possibly closing this game out right here. First shot for Wells. Good. 4-point lead for UIndy. And you may think that might be the end, but we have seen crazier things in basketball games. Her second shot is good as well. 2 clutch shots from Alana Wells. 6.3 on the clock. Stokes now with the ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She puts it up. It is no good, and that will be that. The Greyhounds close the game out this time after their close loss on Thursday, in which they lost a double-digit lead. Tonight they held that lead once again by double digits. They lost it there momentarily, but they fought right back to win this game and move to 8-8 on the year. So they are now back to 500 on the season, 8-8 and 4-4 in conference play. We'll go ahead and now throw it down to the sideline with Landon Coons. He has Mark Mitchell by his side.
Coach Mitchell, congratulations on a fantastic win today. Is there anything, what do you guys like that improved on this team today?
I'm sorry?
I said, is there anything that you guys that really liked on this team today?
I just like the way we stayed together during adversity. I mean, they made a couple of runs at us, and we could have got flustered, but we didn't. We stayed together, stayed poised, and I really like that.
Is there anything on this team that you guys think you could look to improve upon for Monday's game?
No, I just think we got to keep playing hard. I mean, we're doing that. Play a little bit smarter. We have to rebound the ball better. Last couple of games, we're not rebounding the ball, so we got to do a better job of rebounding.
And on Monday, you guys play Maryville again. You guys have played this team before here just a while back. So is there anything you guys can improve upon from that previous meeting to Monday's meeting?
I don't know. I mean, I got to look at that film about a month ago, so I'll look at that film and see see what we can do to get better.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the win. Back up to you, Jace.
Thank you, Landon. And once again, Landon, thank you for your color commentary today. And make sure you stay tuned here on UINDTV and the GLVC Sports Network to watch the men's game as they are coming up shortly. And that'll do it for me here on UINDTV and the GLVC Sports Network.